some of the things as men that we don't talk about, you talked about crying. Well, crying is good for the soul. Even with that, it was hard for me to do. It was hard for me to cry. It was a hard experience for me. But when I started to open up, I started to be more vulnerable about what I was dealing with. It helped other guys too.
Yo, what it do, it's your boy Brock, and this is the BrockCast. I'm joined with my co-host with the most, Mr. Petty Pat. Talk to him.
Yo, what's good? This your boy Petty Pat. We coming live and direct from Radio Row.
Man, we coming live to you. Today, man, we got a special guest. My man has played for his stints at Philadelphia, and I didn't want to say this team, but it's a team that I disliked a lot during my career, but I'm not in football no more, so it's all love. He played for Seattle. My man, Mr. Marcus Smith.
What's up, bro?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Appreciate you joining with us, bro. Appreciate you joining with us.
I appreciate y'all, man.
Yes, sir. Give the people a little bio about yourself, man. Talk to us.
Man, so look, I'm 6-year NFL veteran, played with the Eagles, Seahawks. Finished up my career with the Commanders. I have a nonprofit right now. It's called the Circle of M, where we unmask the feelings that cause anxiety and depression, right? So really big on that with mental health, with athletes, helping them with the transition. So I'm really just trying to help them do that. I'm a subject matter expert when it comes to mental health, so they kind of call me when they want to talk about mental health with athletes.
Man, that's dope. That's dope as fuck. Tell us about how you got that started, because as an athlete, you know, I didn't really. Man, you don't believe in mental health.
Bro. As a man in general.
As a man, you don't believe in mental health. So, you know, going through, you know, football and just, you know, kind of going through this transition, I found myself where I was like, damn, is this depression?
Right.
You know, and you know I have anxiety on flights. I'm scared when it comes to flights. So
I'm the same way.
When life hits you and like the unknown hit me, I get in this state where like I just like cut everybody off, and then I was like, damn, is this depression? So talk to us about like what is that like? How do players? How would you know if you're depressed? Like what is that like?
Well, the first thing is it's awareness, right? So a lot of times, especially as black individuals, we can't articulate what we're going through, right? Especially the communities that we come from, that's not something that we really talk about, right? So I had a stint with suicide when I was in Seattle. I had to step away from Seattle. I had to step away from the game. So that was my first really encounter with mental health, because I never addressed none of the issues that I was dealing with prior. I had a lot of issues in dealing with it in Philly, and it was brought with me to Seattle. And so once I stepped away from the game and I actually was able to get therapy, I was able to, they do this like thing with a feelings wheel. It's called a feelings wheel, where you can actually name your emotion, that emotion that you're feeling. So that's how you really can understand if you're depressed or not. And I'll send it to you after this. Like, if you get up in the morning and you feeling a certain type of way, you can look at this feelings wheel to really understand, like, all right, how am I feeling this morning, so we can articulate what we're feeling. So that's what I would say about that.
Tell us about, like, you know, that mental health scope of, like, not depression, but, you know, like the transition, you know, purpose. Like what I'm doing now, you know, I kind of like jumped off the cliff with this, because I had many people telling me, bro, you'll be awesome at media. You'll be awesome at media. But I kind of didn't believe it in myself. I didn't believe in myself. And then until my boy was like, nah, you good at this. And then I had to kind of tell myself, bro, like, what else you gonna do? You know, like you got to step out on faith. Like, you know, you're a believer. You step out on faith. God got you. You know, could you talk a little bit to that? Yeah, man, it's tough for us, man. And I will always say, like, it usually takes a year, 2 years to really kind of like figure out what you want. And we all, that's why my logo is a half helmet, half face, because we have to take this helmet off, right? We have to unmask what we're used to doing. And I feel like that's the tough part, trying to get into different fields, because we've been playing football all our lives, and we don't necessarily know what we good at, but it's people that you have in your corner, they see your growth. They see what you're really good at, and it's really just taking the heat of what they're saying and really pushing for it. But sometimes it could be like an unknown type of thing, like, man, I don't know if I should do that, or I'm scared to do that because we've been doing one thing our whole entire lives. And that's kind of where I was too.
I was gonna say, and speaking as a black man, right? I lost my mom at 16. My dad's never been in my life. It was hard for me going from this woman taking care of me every single day, making sure I was at football practice, baseball practice, basketball practice, going from that to now is my sister's 25 years old, and she's the one taking care of a 16-year-old now. And to be honest, I didn't really cry as much as because I felt like, damn, if I cry, I'm letting my mom down and I'm being weak, right? Yeah. And I held that resentment for a long time, bro. And there's still times where I'll be randomly like, just at home, or if I'm, I'm just and I'll just break down, and I've been in relationships where they're like, why don't you just open up and cry? Mm-hmm. And it's so hard, bro, as a man, because you feel like if I'm opening up, I'm being weak, and I don't want to be weak. I can't show no weakness, and I don't know why we like that as men, bro. But at the end of the day, it tears a lot of us apart, and a lot of people take their lives because of that. Yeah. And it's sad to say, but at the end of the day, it's people like you, it's people out there who can actually help y'all, man. Yeah. So if you need some help, let it go. Go get some help. They got phone numbers, the internet. Is so much information out there for anybody. Yep. If you need some type of help, if you're dealing with something, suicidal watch, mental health issues, bro. We know when it's kind of like tearing at us, and we like, damn, bro. I think this might be it. Like, man, stop. It's not it, because you are so much more than what you think you are. It's people out there that love y'all. It's people out there that care about each and every one of us, right? Yep. And when you think you have no more purpose, you got to think about it. At the end of the day, I still got family, right? I still got family that love me.
Marcus, I didn't mean to cut you off, boss. Could you speak to that? Because you dealt with that as a player, going through, thoughts of suicide and things like that, and dealing with pressure. I know I've dealt with pressure, not being a bust and things like that. Could you speak to that a little bit?
Bro, I'm the same way, bro. I'm a former first-round draft pick, like yourself. Coming into a Philadelphia market, I didn't play a lot my first year, and the fans, man, really killed me. Like, even on social media, like, I used to pay attention to all that stuff, and it actually weighs on you, right? And what we need to do as players, if therapy is something that you want to do, that's something that will help you address what you're going through, right? And if we don't address that, then it just travels with you. So I always explain it like this: like, when you have a certain thing or something a trauma, certain thing that you've dealt with, right? We don't talk about it initially, right? Mm-hmm. And that certain thing is still in the back of your mind. It's in a compartment somewhere, right? And you haven't had a chance to actually push it to the front of your brain and release it out your mouth so you can be free.
Right.
So that's the important part of mental health. It's like some of the things as men that we don't talk about. You talked about crying. Well, crying is good for the soul.
Right.
Like, crying really helps us free our minds, and I just feel like that even with that, it was hard for me to do. It was hard for me to cry. It was a hard experience for me. But when I started to open up, I started to be more vulnerable about what I was dealing with. It helped other guys too. When I was in Seattle, I'm not gonna say no names, but once I walked away, they was like, bruh, like, I was dealing with that like 2 weeks ago.
Damn.
And so that's why I really started this process of the circle of them, because it's like, bro, well, if I'm doing this and I'm helping guys, then this got to be my purpose.
Right. Yeah. Man, we appreciate that, bro, because, me going through this process now and just, like, even earlier, like, going through getting drafted, like you said, you were a first-round pick. You got all these people, especially, I know in Philadelphia, y'all fans are, oh, my God. But the fans, I think y'all have to realize, and this is why this podcast is so important, because we are human.
Yep.
We are human, y'all. Like, I know we get y'all fantasy numbers up, and I know if we drop a pass or whatever, whatnot, you're going to be pissed off at your fantasy, but we are not fantasy numbers. We are not just fantasy. We are human. We deal with things. We deal with losses. We deal with crying and things like that. And so many people, in this game, in this gladiator game, it's almost looked down upon if you do cry or you do, The only time you can really show emotion is if you win.
Yeah.
If you're not winning,
even still, bro, it's like fans don't look at it as, oh, well, he human. They look at it as, you can pay millions of dollars.
Right.
Why are you crying?
Right.
How hard could your life be? They look at it as that way, and they understand. Just like at the end of the day, I gotta take this helmet off and go home. Right. So now I'm in a space, the same space as you. Now what? Yeah. Should I still feel that same way? And it's not fair that fans treat players that way just because they feel like, well, you getting all this money, you shouldn't be feeling that way.
So talk to us about a little bit about your organization and what you have going on and what you have planned on in the future.
Yeah, so I have an organization. It's called The Circle of Them. You can find it on thecircleofthem.com. I have a podcast also, which is Circle of Them. I bring on guests, and we just talk about the journey, talk about their transition, so people can really understand their transition. But then I also partner with All Points North, which is a treatment facility for athletes and professionals. This is a treatment facility that has what you call transcranial magnetic stimulation that also helps football players, brain, it helps all of that. So I partnered up with them, created a healing circle for guys to be able to dump all of their stuff. It's like a virtual locker room, basically. And I'm a bridge for them to get the help that they need. So if they want therapy, I can put them with someone who's good with therapy. If they want TMS, I can put them with that. If they just want to get away and be at a facility, I can do that too as well. So that's what the Circle of Them is all about. I'm just trying to bring as much awareness to that as possible because I know, being in the NFL, they skate around that part. Even when we talk about concussions and all that, they skate around that part. So I just want to be a bridge for those guys because who else is going to do it?
Right.
Speaking of concussions, do you feel like that is something that can help, move somebody's progression? Somebody's depression far along. Say if somebody, they might be dealing with something that kind of is there and it doesn't really bother them, and then you get concussed, and then now, that basically rattles your brain. Do you feel like CTE is a big part of NFL players dealing with depression?
Man, I would say it's so funny that you asked that because I was just on CNN last week having a conversation about the lawsuit with Roger Goodell, right? And we was talking about concussions, and it was like, well, is that the end all be all? Like, is football out of the way? And I'm just like football is football. We can't get players to stop playing football, right? All we can do is have treatments that are available for them and for them to understand, like, bro, it's not the end all be all. Like, they make us feel like you gotta die basically to donate your brain. That's scary. You know what I mean? But I'm starting to, with the people that I'm partnering with, I'm starting to realize like stem cell helps the brain. You got TMS, you got therapy, you got all this stuff that can really help us and push us forward. But I do, CTE obviously it's a gray area with that because they still say, well, you can't detect it, you can't. It's stuff that, they say that's like, I don't know about that. Right. But there are symptoms that are associated with that. So like anything else, if you have certain symptoms, you treat those symptoms.
Right.
So you could do the same thing when it comes to the brain, bro. And I don't know why they don't say that enough, but I'm gonna continue to push that message forward because I want guys to be sane and be straight.
Do you feel like it's something that they can't? Do you feel like they do know, but it's like if they let everybody know, now people are like, holy shit, like, nah, bro, like, this ain't something I want to do, and they might end up losing out. It's a money thing.
Yeah, I think it's more of a money grab. I think that they do know what's going on. They know everything about football players, even down to, and this is research that I've done, even down to us being in a therapy room. All the 32 teams have 32 clinicians, right? But not a lot of guys go in there. Why y'all think not a lot of guys go in there? Because they feel like, okay, I don't want the owner knowing that I'm in therapy. Right? But what the NFL has, they have a waiver form that undermines HIPAA, basically. So, HIPAA is your information. They can't get your information. But because they have waiver forms, if you sign the waiver form, they can have access to all your information.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
That's crazy.
You know what I'm saying? So if you really think about it like that, it's like, wow, like, this is why guys don't want to talk about their mental health. What's the point of
having therapy if y'all just going to go tell?
Nah, facts. I mean, but you got to look at it as a player. If you're trying to get paid, if you're not trying to show this team that you're hurt, ain't nothing wrong with you because you're trying to get paid. Because you don't want to show them like, oh, you have any weakness or anything because they go dock you.
They gonna
try to use that against you.
Yeah.
So it's like that game we play as players. Like, okay, do I want to tell them I hurt or do I want to just man through it? Because if I man through it, they don't know, and I can get paid, and probably after I get my contract, then I get the surgery. You know what I'm saying? And there's a lot of that in this league, and that stigma has to be dealt with.
Yep.
So, man, Marcus, I really appreciate you jumping on the show, bro. This is what this show is all about, bro. It's dehumanizing the athletes and humanizing us and showing the world, like, bro, we are just like y'all. We deal with the same problems. We just so happen to be good at football and use our athletic ability, and God blessed us to not get hurt and all that, and we're at this level. But we deal with the same things, and that's what this show about. So I appreciate you coming on the show. I plan to link up with you on your podcast as well, brother. Let us link. Let us get your information because we plan on doing some tours in a couple of months. You know, just going around the country, just jumping on everybody's podcast and collabing. So we appreciate you coming on.
That made Yolanda smile, by the way.
All right. So we plan on doing that in the near future. So. You got where people can find you personally or any of your foundations?
So on Instagram, it's MoneyMark91, MoneyMarc91. And then the Circle of M is just the Circle of M. And then Twitter is just Marcus Smith II.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Hey, Petty Pat, you got something to tell the people?
My Instagram is Petty__Pat, Brock Brand Clothing on Instagram, mbrockers90 on Instagram.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. You got. Hey, man,
go follow.
Yeah.
And man, if y'all know the motto, if y'all been rocking with us since the beginning, man, don't get ready, stay ready. Peace.